Hello and welcome to Orchids 365 Care Collab video. I'd like to thank Nina and Ninja Orchids for inviting me to join you guys on the Care Collab on the Dendrobium Aphyllum. So, as you can see, compared to the blooming video I uploaded about a month ago, doesn't look like much right now, right? Dry, long canes, but look at that new growth. I have my dendrobium mounted on a palm where it gets mostly morning sun coming from the west side, and every season after the blooms it pushes out new canes, and those are the ones that look fabulous. See that? It is a common misconception for some to think that they've killed their dendrobium when they see them, you know, partially starting to go dormant. There's a little kiki there. I am watering it almost daily because we are getting no rain, and when it grows, it needs to drink up, at least if you are an outdoor grower. Now, I'm going to show you the KKs that I included from last time. I have mounted on here this big, and now look at this. It's pushing out 1, 2, 3 new growth. I find that this dendrobium loves being mounted. Whether you are an inside or outdoor grower, if you have it mounted on a piece of wood, on a piece of cork, hanging down, it is so happy. I'm not saying it doesn't work out in pots. In fact, I'm going to head back there on the other side of my growing area to show you some of the KKs that I have growing in pots, because like that you can compare. But I have seen, so I apologize, so much growth. Look at this. And there's Big Mama. This plant has been mounted on this palm tree for about 10 years now. And now I have a little piece of her on this side. It'll be the same exact plant because it's her KK. And at my mom's garden and at my mother-in-law's garden. So I'm going to go back there and then I'll tell you a little more about the history of this plant. Okay guys, back here I have some of her KKs. As you can tell, I have it in bark. See? Some moss. And actually this little cane here had 1 little bloom, I think, or 2. And they're pretty happy. Well drained. See? They've grown. They're pushing out little growths too. Then I have down here some from my mom's that I believe maybe another color, but I cannot remember. So they're just there in that basket. See, very little bark, a little bit of moss. Happy growers. They're also showing growth. So, you know, this dendrobium, very flexible grower. Now, you see how it'll grow up, and then the canes eventually will drop down, giving you a cascade effect when it flowers, which I love. So it's important for me to try to have some on the off of the palm tree so that I can move it around and put it wherever I please. And this particular plant means the world to me because when I was little, my grandpa had his mounted on his mango tree, and that's where I would eat my mangoes and have long conversations. And my love of orchids started with him in his garden. And this plant, you guys, was a division from his original plant from the home where I grew up at. So it means the world to me, and I love that I have been a part of this Care Collab. So as I said, I water heavily now. In the dormant season for me, which is usually winter, I slow down the watering, but I do not completely stop. It does get some water, just not as much. Just because that's what I feel works best in my climate, and it has shown to do good with that system. And I do fertilize it once a week when I fertilize the others with 20-20-20. A little drop of Super Thrive sometimes if I remember. And when I'm giving my Vanda seaweed, sometimes she may get a drizzle, you know, and it doesn't do it any harm. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been helpful for an outdoor grower, even an indoor grower. Don't be afraid to experiment with the Dendrobium Aphyllum because it is just a marvelous specimen to watch grow. And it's funny how when it goes dormant, you're like, uh-oh, did I kill it? But nope, very resilient, very beautiful. And even though it does only bloom once a year, it's totally worth the wait. I'm gonna go ahead and drop everybody's account that's participating with us in this Care Collab in my description, the links in my description. I hope you have found this video useful and you've enjoyed it and informative. I would try to find a clip of it in bloom, or if not, I'll add it at the end of the video so it can loop into the blooming video, so that if you did not get a chance, you can get a chance to enjoy this beautiful blooming dendrobium. Thank you for joining. Stay safe, be kind, and let's grow together.